Before we could speak our own name, we were a dollar sign in somebody's ledger. Economics wasn't a class that we could skip. It was written into our skin like sugar cane and the cotton that we picked but never owned. But we always flipped it, turned chains into gold, side hustles into survival, and corner store candy into capital. See, they don't know how we hustle, how we took those same skills they underestimated, braiding hair in kitchens, frying fish on Fridays, flipping cases of water in traffic, just to keep our lights on. We turned nothing into something. We turned nothing into enough. We made a way when all we had were our hands and the knowledge they never wanted us to have, and now we build empires, not with bricks, but with braids, with shea butters and plans, with lashes and logos and LLCs and plenty of love. We've been sold, bought, and sold again, but now we buy black our blocks. No more leases, no more renting someone else's dreams. We want deeds in our hands, not just rent receipts. You think entrepreneurship is a trend? No, it's in our DNA. We've been making magic out of kitchen beauty long before it was Instagrammable. And this ain't just about the side hustles, it's about real ownership, real power, legacy. They sold us, broke us, and we built back. And we're not just asking for reparations, no, we're making them with every house we buy, with every business we own, every dollar we flip into struggle, into something permanent. You see us, we ain't just getting by. We create wealth, we invest in ourselves because the economy we live in, it won't made for us. But we make it work just like everything else. We flip systems the same way we flip houses, from red lines to redefined. And our children, they won't inherit the struggle. No, they'll inherit these keys. Harvard ain't teach us this. What we know can't be found in no textbooks. It's found in the mothers who work 2 jobs and still make it to parent-teacher conferences. It's in the grandmothers who own their homes without ever stepping foot in a bank. It's found in the way we turn beauty into billion-dollar brands and the way we flip markets that they thought that we ain't never gonna touch. This is about more than just getting by. It's about getting ahead, owning the land we stand on, the businesses we run, and the futures that we build. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming out to this Capital Connections event to celebrate National Med Week. And without further ado, I'd like for you guys to give a round of applause to our keynote speaker. She's going to come and give us a few special words and something extra special as well. Please give a round of applause for the Director of the Department of Small and Local Business Development, Ms. Rosemary Suggs-Evans.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I am Rosemary Suggs-Evans. I am the Director of the Department of Small and Local Business Development, and I am so excited to be here. Now, I have a script, but I don't think I'm going to go off the script. I want to just talk to you all about what we do and how partnerships like what we have and the work that Darvincia is doing is so important to minority-owned businesses, but also important to the economy overall. Our focus at DSLBD is to work with our small business owners at whatever stage they are in their life cycle of their business, right? So whether it's from ideation, an idea I thought I have, I'm not sure I can do it, to I've been doing this for 10 years, I want to grow, I want to go to the next level. We are there to support those businesses, and we support businesses through one-on-one technical assistance. We support businesses with grant training, grant money as well. But I think what is most important, what is most impactful is being able to sit down and talk to that business owner or talk to that aspirational business owner and get an idea of what he or she wants and how we can make that happen. That's what our focus is. And we get that charge from Mayor Bowser. So for many of you who have contracted with the government, want to contract with the government, Mayor Bowser has made a commitment to ensure that our small businesses have a place in contracting with the government, have a priority in contracting with the government. right? So when Mayor Bowser came in, we spent about $300 million with small businesses. This past fiscal year, fiscal '24, our goal, which is the floor, was $1.2 billion. Goes to small businesses, those businesses that are based here in DC, that are resident-owned, some new CBEs, right? Yes, so that is what we are focused on doing. We are focused on ensuring that our district-based businesses have the resources that they need. Our entrepreneurs have the support that they need. You come to us, you tell us what you want to do, you tell us where you want to go. It is our job, our charge to ensure that you get there, and that is our goal. So please, if you have not visited DSLBD.org, please do so. We are here to support you. I can't thank you enough for what you do, because we can't do this alone, right? The only way that we can be successful, the only way that this district can be successful is when we partner with organizations that have the same mindset as we do. So I wanted to say that. I wanted to also read a special note. I am here on behalf of the mayor, and the mayor couldn't be here, but she sent a proclamation. But also, let me present you with the proclamation, but I want to read the letter that she sent for you specially. October 23rd, 2024. As Mayor of Washington, D.C., I am excited to welcome you to Capital Connections Empowering Minority Businesses, hosted by Core DMV. Led by founder Darvincia Warren, Core DMV is a robust financial freedom firm committed to expanding the diverse tapestry of fiscal literacy and liberation across Washington, D.C. and the region. By providing strategic business support, capital literacy workshops, and long-term wealth strategy coaching sessions, Core is committed to empowering residents to take control of their financial futures. In understanding the importance of business development throughout all 8 wards of our country, Core is proudly advancing the interests of minority entrepreneurs by celebrating Minority Enterprise Development Week from October 20th through 26th, 2024. We are #DCProud of Core's commitment to equitable access, and we are excited to welcome you to Core DMV's Capital Connections event as part of National NED Week. To Darvincia and to the entire Core team, thank you for building a platform for minority entrepreneurs and business leaders in the district to connect, learn, and inspire one another. I admire your dedication to highlighting DC's commitment to supporting minority-owned businesses, and thank you for bringing leaders together to ensure all Washingtonians receive their fair shot. Once again, I join the 700,000 residents of Washington, D.C. in welcoming members and guests of Core DMV's Capital Connections event. May you continue promoting the importance of diversity, the prosperity of our residents, and the legacy of financial freedom. Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Omari. Actually, before I get started, I'd like to give you guys just a few minutes to introduce yourselves to the panel. Just tell them a little bit about yourself. How's that? All right. So we'll go ahead and we'll just go from right to left. Your left to right. And we'll start with Nicole.
Hello, everyone. I am Nicole Murphy, born and raised in Washington, D.C., and I am the founder and CEO of Barter Black, which is a bartering platform for Black entrepreneurs to exchange goods and services with each other in order to start, grow, and scale their business.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Omari Wooden. I'm originally from Baltimore. I work at the U.S. Census Bureau, and I oversee our data user and respondent outreach as it relates to economic data. So a lot of the discussion we'll be talking about tonight is data. Well, why does data matter? but we'll be talking more about that tonight. And I do that a lot across the country, talking with entrepreneurs, trade associations on the importance of data.
Hi everyone, my name is Trezelle Regas. I am the proud owner of Regas Consulting, and we specialize in capacity building, workforce development, and strategic planning. I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana, and I just want to say how much of a privilege it is to be in the District of Columbia, because Louisiana doesn't even have half of the resources that we have here. So this is the blueprint that I hope I can encourage my nieces and nephews to build something back home, so people that look like us have the same opportunities in the southern states. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful.
There we are. Wonderful. Can we give them one more round of applause and we'll jump right into it? I am honored to have all of you here. I think you guys all bring a great wealth of information from various different perspectives, so I'm excited. All right, so back to Omari. Our first question is for you. So from a data perspective, how do you see access to capital impacting minority-owned businesses, particularly in distressed communities?
So it is at the core when it comes to a data perspective. One of the things that we see, it creates, unfortunately, a vicious cycle when you have need in certain communities, in minority communities, in communities that might be more stressed with, let's say, economic downturn. Let's say there's terrible weather in the area. Are they resilient enough to return back to that state, that situation, such as, are there people below poverty, which is something census measures? Are they, is there one person that no vehicle? That's the thing that's a challenge. Is there someone in the household that has a disability? That is a challenge. So we see these different types of demographics, but then when we look at entrepreneurs to say, hey, there's a resource I can provide, but when they aren't unable to get that capital to provide that resource, it then creates a cyclical problem, because now the resource that I want to provide to the community, because I can't get the capital, I can't help the community, so those types of elements tend to continue. I can't provide the support if I can't get the capital, so those red flags, the areas that are still under poverty, those areas that people don't have healthcare insurance, that don't have internet access, those types of things, I can't provide those support. Not only to those areas that are having those challenges, but also as entrepreneurs, not only can your businesses help serve people, but also for you as business opportunists, you're looking for an opportunity to also help the community, but also make a profit. So both of those things are not achieved when that capital is not met.
Wow, thank you so much. Love that answer, great answer. Our next question is for you, Nicole. So you pioneered the concept of bartering, right, within the business community. How can minority-owned businesses use the bartering systems like Barter Black to creatively overcome financial limitations? I think it's something that most don't even know is an option available to them. So can you speak to that a little bit?
Yes. So most of us have heard about bartering, but we've never really used it to scale and grow our businesses. So what I've done is created a community. When I think about bartering, first of all, I started it during the pandemic. There was a need. So when you think about bartering in the Black business community, there's almost 4 million Black-owned businesses. When you think about Black entrepreneurs, we're smart, we have so many skills, there's things that we all need in each other's businesses, but we're too busy not helping each other. And we just, even if 5 people came together and said, I can provide you this, I can provide you this, we can grow and scale our businesses. I think people need to use bartering for their skills and their expertise as human capital. It's just not about money, because if you're waiting for the money to grow, you're probably going to be waiting a long time, because it takes us a long time to grow, instead of just having a friend down the street that is an expert in accounting or expert in marketing that contribute, and then you can contribute to their business as well.
Wow, that's huge. And I think one of the greatest lessons that I've learned is trying to scale my business, because I too am a growing small business, minority business. And so learning about that opportunity, I think, really minimizes some of those capital needs that or lack that we have as small and minority businesses. Oftentimes there are services and resources and tools that we need, immediately that we don't have necessarily have the capital to access. But bartering creates an opportunity for us to not be stagnant, because we can then exchange the value. The value doesn't minimize, it's not diminished, right? The value's still there, but we're not faced with that monetary burden. So I think that's huge. Thank you so much. Absolutely. All right, so of course our next question is for you, Trizelle. All right, so you've helped many businesses become capital ready, right? Now, what is one major mistake that business owners make when preparing to secure funding, and how can they avoid it?
So I want to say one thing that I think most businesses make when trying to get access to capital is not having your personal in order. And I was a victim to this myself, so I can kind of speak on that. For example, right? So as of today, you heard Director Suggs-Evans mention that there's a new CPE in the house. That's me as of today, but it took me, thank you. I was determined to become a CPE with this process. Some people become a CPE with in a month or a little over a month, right? It took me almost a year. And you know why? Because I did not have my paperwork in order. So I'm like, if you don't have your paperwork in order, the likelihood of getting funding is 0 to none. If you don't have your personal credit, people think they start a business and they can just rely on business credit. If you don't have your personal credit in order, I don't know what you're gonna do, right? So it's things like making sure that you have everything about you in order, all of your paperwork for your business in order, and I think that's just a huge mistake. People just think start a business, start applying for credit cards, start applying for loans. No, I have no loans, I have no lines of credit. My business is a little over a year. We've been surviving mostly off of grants and some contracts that we've gotten, but apply for grants, apply for free money that you don't have to pay back before you start taking out that debt and you have no way to really grow your business from it because you're using the money irresponsibly. And also, go to places like DSLBD, talk to their professionals, don't skip any steps.
Is basically going to talk all things minority business and access to capital. We're going to hopefully answer some of the unasked questions, cover some things that are often overlooked when we think about access to capital, and that's the primary reason why we're doing this. I could have had some amazing guests come and moderate the panel, but because there was a specific message that I wanted to ensure the audience receives, and so that's the reason why I'm moderating tonight. Is that fair with you guys? All right, cool, let's get started. Well, first of all, I'd like to welcome our panel. Thank you guys for joining us. I'll just start and I have my notes. I love notes, guys. So, of course, we know that access to capital is one of the greatest challenges facing minority entrepreneurs and businesses today. And we know that it also plays a critical role in bridging the wealth gap. So we're going to dive right into these questions, all right? So my opening question is going to be for Omari. Actually, before I get started, I'd like to give you guys just a few minutes to introduce yourselves to the panel. Just tell them a little bit about yourself. How's that? All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll just go from right to left, your left to right, and we'll start with Nicole.
Hello, everyone. I am Nicole Murphy, born and raised in Washington, D.C., and I am the founder and CEO of Barter Black, which is a bartering platform for Black entrepreneurs to exchange goods and services with each other in order to start, grow, and scale their business.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Omari Wooden. I'm originally from Baltimore. I work at the U.S. Census Bureau, and I oversee our data user and respondent outreach as it relates to economic data. So a lot of the discussion we'll be talking about tonight is data. But why does data matter? And we'll be talking more about that tonight. And I do that a lot across the country, talking with entrepreneurs, trade associations on the importance of data.
Hi everyone, my name is Trizelle Regis. I am the proud owner of Regis Consulting, and we specialize in capacity building, workforce development, and strategic planning. I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana, and I just want to say how much of a privilege it is to be in the District of Columbia, because Louisiana doesn't even have half of the resources that we have here. So this is the blueprint that I hope I can encourage my nieces and nephews to
Wonderful, wonderful.
There we are. Wonderful. Can we give them one more round of applause and we'll jump right into it? I am honored to have all of you here. I think you guys all bring a great wealth of information from various different perspectives, so I'm excited. All right, so back to Omari. Our first question is for you. So from a data perspective, how do you see access to capital impacting minority-owned businesses, particularly in distressed communities?
So it is at the core when it comes to a data perspective. One of the things that we see, it creates, unfortunately, a vicious cycle when you have need in certain communities, in minority communities, in communities that might be more stressed than, let's say, economic downturn. Let's say there's terrible weather in the area. Are they resilient enough to return back to that situation, such as, are there people below poverty, which is something the census measures? Are they, is there one person that no vehicle? That's the thing that's a challenge. Is there someone in the household that has a disability? That is a challenge. So we see these different types of demographics, but then when we look at entrepreneurs to say, hey, there's a resource I can provide, but when they aren't unable to get that capital to provide that resource, it then creates then a cyclical problem, because now the resource that I want to provide to the community, because I can't get the capital, I can't help to the community, so those types of elements tend to continue. I can't provide the support if I can't get the capital, so those red flags, the areas that are still under poverty, those areas that people don't have health care insurance, that don't have internet access, those types of things, I can't provide those support. Not only to those areas that are having those challenges, but also as entrepreneurs, not only can your businesses help serve people, but also for you as business opportunists, you're looking for an opportunity to also help the community, but also make a profit. So both of those things are not achieved when that capital is not there.
Wow, thank you so much. Love that answer, great answer. Our next question is for you, Nicole. So you pioneered the concept of bartering, right, within the business community. How can minority-owned businesses use the bartering systems like Barter Black to creatively overcome financial limitations? I think it's something that most don't even know is an option available to them. So can you speak to that a little bit?
Yes. So most of us have heard about bartering, but we never really used it to scale and grow our businesses. So what I've done is created a community. When I think about bartering, first of all, I started it during the pandemic. There was a need. So when you think about bartering in the Black business community, there's almost 4 million Black-owned businesses. When you think about Black entrepreneurs, we're smart, we have so many skills, there's things that we all need in each other's businesses, but we're too busy not helping each other. And if we just, even if 5 people came together and said, I can provide you this, I can provide you this, we can grow and scale our businesses. I think people need to use bartering for their skills and their expertise as human capital. It's just not about money, because if you're waiting for the money to grow, you're probably going to be waiting a long time, because it takes us a long time to grow, instead of just having a friend down the street that is an expert in accounting or an expert in marketing that contribute, and then you contribute to their business as well.
Wow, that's huge. And I think one of the greatest lessons that I've learned is trying to scale my business, because I too am a growing small business, minority business. And so learning about that opportunity, I think, really minimizes some of those capital needs that or lack that we have as small and minority businesses. Oftentimes there are services and resources and tools that we need immediately that we don't have necessarily have the capital to access. But bartering creates an opportunity for us to not be stagnant, because we can then exchange the value. The value doesn't minimize, it's not diminished, right? The value is still there, but we're not faced with that monetary burden. And so I think that's huge. Thank you so much. Absolutely. All right, so of course our next question is for you, Trizelle. All right. So you've helped many businesses become capital ready, right? Now, what is one major mistake that business owners make when preparing to secure funding, and how can they avoid it?
So I want to say one thing that I think most businesses make when trying to get access to capital is not having your personal in order. And I was a victim to this myself, so I can kind of speak on that. For example, right? So as of today, you heard Director Suggs-Evans mention that there's a new CPE in the house. That's me, as of today. But it took me, thank you. I was determined to become a CPE with this process. Some people become a CPE with like in a month or a little over a month, right? It took me almost a year. And you know why? Because I did not have my paperwork in order. So I'm like, if you don't have your paperwork in order, the likelihood of getting funding is 0 to none. If you don't have your personal credit, people think they start a business and they can just rely on business credit. If you don't have your personal credit in order, I don't know what you're going to do, right? So it's things like making sure that you have everything about you in order, all of your paperwork for your business in order, and I think that's just a huge mistake. People just think start a business, start applying for a credit card, start applying for loans. No, I have no loans, I have no lines of credit. My business is a little over a year. We've been surviving mostly off of grants and some contracts that we've got, but apply for grants, apply for free money that you don't have to pay back before you start taking out that debt. You have no way to really grow your business from it because you're using the money irresponsibly. And also, go to places like DSLBD, talk to their professionals, don't skip any steps, they'll walk you right through the process. No matter how long it takes, I promise you, it's worth it to do it the right way the first time, or it'll cost you in the long run.
Wow, perfectly said. Did you guys want to add to that at all, or you feel like she covered it?
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's the things that you hate doing the most in your business that's gonna set you up for the success. So the website and all that stuff, we've been waiting on that. Set it up first, and I know it's like hard to do with the paperwork, it's so boring, but it's really gonna set you up for success.
I couldn't have said it better. I often encounter many small businesses and they're eager to get their product and service out to the public, the general public. Why wouldn't you be? You're excited about it. It's your baby, right? But the thing about it is the way that we protect our babies, we have to protect our business as well. And so we have to make sure the same way that we groom and train and coach and mentor and guide our babies, right? We have to do the same with our business. And before we present it to the public, we have to make sure it's protected. We have to make sure that it's properly structured. Like when you think about building a house, right? Do you start with the roof or the foundation? You can say it all. The foundation, right? Okay, we're not going to start with the roof, absolutely. And if we start with the roof, then we know that the possibility of it staying is slim to none. And so it's the same with our business. If we start with the foundation, we have a strong business that we can scale and grow to the next level. So thank you guys, that was phenomenal, I love it. And so this question actually is for all of the panelists. How can small businesses in underserved communities, outside of obviously, we covered getting your personal finances in order, but outside of that, how can small businesses in underserved communities position themselves to be attractive to funders in a competitive landscape, especially when traditional financial systems often overlook them?
Well, one way I want to respond to that, and I think what you said was really on point with getting personal things in order, that also then ties back to the data. One of the things that when you talk about, oh, I have my baby, I'm going to get my baby out there, but I have no idea what the industry is. I have no idea what other businesses like me already exist in my particular area. So one of the things in addition to that, that's where the data comes into play. And one of the things, especially from the Census Bureau, we have a lot of that business data information where you can find out how many other roofing contractors are in another geography just like me. What is the average payroll for a roofing contractor in a particular county? So if I'm advertising, if I'm putting an ad in the paper for, that shows you how old I am. People don't put ads in papers anymore, I'm sorry. So if you're trying to advertise for new people to come to your business to get hired, well, what am I offering the payment? Hey, I'm going to offer you $30,000. But the going rate in that particular county is $50,000 per employee, and you don't even know that. So in addition to getting your personal stuff in order, have your awareness of what your industry already is in that particular market. That area might be saturated, and you might need to say, you know what, maybe that county isn't where I want to be. Let me go one county over, and I can do the exact same thing in that adjacent county versus that county that I'm targeting. And you only know that through data.
Wow.
That was huge. What do you guys
I
think?
want to just say two things. One, I think people, entrepreneurs need to ask themselves, will they invest in their business? Before you are asking someone else to invest, would you invest $50,000 or $1 million in your own business? And then two, team. Investors are probably not going to invest in someone who's a solopreneur. They want to see the team and they want to see that their money can grow. And their money really can't grow that far with just one person operating the business.
Now,
Sorry. I want to give you an additional opportunity to expound on that question if you'd like. But what I would like to kind of piggyback on your response, what would you say to that entrepreneur that says, well, I don't have the human capital to afford a team? Obviously, we know.
Harder. I have people ask me all the time, because I preach team, and everyone's always like, I don't have the money to afford a team. You barter, and that's why I created that platform where you can do that, because we don't have the funding. If you look at it, less than 5% of Black entrepreneurs, well, less than 5% of employer-operated businesses in the United States are Black-owned. When you look at white-owned businesses, they have 80%. So we're far behind. That means that we aren't hiring. That means that there's a huge problem in us actually hiring. And if you have to get a partner, get a partner. I heard, I don't know if he's a millionaire or billionaire, but he said, would you rather 100% of zero or 50% of something? So get a partner.
I love it. I love it. Did you want to add anything, Trizelle?
I would just say I 1000% agree with everything what you said, but with that being said too, if you don't have the money right away, what I did was I found community folks who are just like me and don't have the money, and we partnered. So like I have someone who did my marketing stuff for free, but in return I did something for his business. So literally go out and find like-minded individuals and say, hey, I see that you do this, I need this, or I need my website developed. Is there something that I can do for you in return of you doing this for me? And more likely than not, they'll say yes because they're trying to network and build those relationships.
it's bartering.
It's bartering, yeah. So, I mean, just do that. I've had to do it, and I know others who have to do it, but yeah, you have a community, especially in the district, where, you know, people will share resources and information, so.
I'm sorry, I just want to say really quickly before I forget, so because I am the money chick, right? So I have to speak to how when you barter, you still account for the value of the service that you would have ordinarily received monetarily. So you're still, in a sense, the revenue is still there, even though there was a barter exchange. So even if you exchange a service with someone and you're not receiving a monetary dollar, you can still chart that in your books or your accountant. Please get one if you don't have it.
No, I did not know that part. Yes, I did not know that.
It's taxes.
Yeah, you have to record it on your taxes. But I was going to say, find community. I know a lot of people don't like to ask, and this year was my ask big. I'm asking everybody for everything. And you never know who might say yes. So we went through a huge pivot this year. And I came up with crowd bartering. I know you heard of crowdfunding. I asked everyone, I'm rebuilding this platform. Who can help me with this? You'd be surprised how many people say yes. So just ask me, I would say that.
And you don't know who you ask might to help you, but you also don't know if you ask something that is free. Sometimes it's like, oh, well, he said he's from Census, man. I bet that data costs and it's all this, blah, blah, blah. What I'm talking about is free. So sometimes we think like, I can't do that because I don't know who to ask, or I don't want to ask and get told no, or I don't want to ask because that costs. A lot of stuff out there is free too. You just need to know where to go to get it.
Guys, this has been phenomenal. I've got a few more questions for you, and then we're going to open up the floor to some questions.
Omari, my next
question you sort of already answered, but if there is something additional you'd like to expound on, but I think think you definitely covered it, but it was how can businesses use census data to identify market trends and position themselves better when seeking capital?
Absolutely. So one of the things that census, a lot of times people think of census as they just come around every 10 years. Like, why are you here? You're from the census. I thought you all only work every 10 years. Like, I work every day, and I do other things related than just counting people. There's an economic side of the census where, again, what I was talking about earlier, we measure the number of establishments. So again, I was talking about the number of roofing contractors. That is something that I met with the company and told them about. Pest control company. You want to know how many pest control companies are in this county in Alabama. I showed them exactly the number of pest control companies in that area. He was an employer. He wanted to know what on average were being paid, what on average, how many people worked there. So he had a team of 5. In average in that county, they had an average of 10 employees. So again, this is all information. So back to that question. One of the things that we do with Census too, and we work very heavily with the Grant Professional Association, GPA, but again, we help a lot with grant writing, loan writing, because a lot of the things, the first thing that the bank is going to ask you, or lender, or even somebody say, why am I going to give you money? They're going to ask data questions. That business you want to open up, how many people are you servicing? That's a demographic data element. How many other businesses? You want to open a barber shop? Why do I keep using examples of things that I don't like need or use? Anyway, you want to open a barbershop in your area? How many people do you support it? How many barbershops are already there? That's information that the Census Bureau provides, because if you go to the bank, and again, you don't have your personal stuff in order, and they say, I want to get a loan of this amount of money, first thing they're going to ask you is how many other businesses in that area already exist. I don't know, my cousin been doing this, I want to do it too. That's not what the bank is going to want to hear. They want to know, what is your expectation of payroll? On average, other businesses like yours, how many people do they have employed? That's the type of information that the Census Bureau provides, again, for free, and there are tools that you can find out. So not only can you find out about other businesses, but then down to the zip code and track level, again, back to my example of barbershops, if you say, I want to target black men for my business, you can find out at the track level how many black men are in this particular geography and say, that's where I want to target. One of the things my wife was working on was trying to assist young mothers in a particular geography. Okay, what's the percentage under 5? How many women are in that area? So you can use the data a lot of different ways to find out where my possible customers are, and then also the industry that I'm considering to open up. And at Census, we have that data, it's free. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask me afterwards. I can at least point you to some free resources.
Wonderful. That was amazing. Trizelle, in terms of bridging the wealth gap, how can consultants like yourself help minority entrepreneurs achieve long-term financial stability? What are some of the services that your organization offers?
Yeah, so we talked about capacity building a little bit. That's one thing that we offer, because the reality is a solopreneur, I'm sorry, it's only going to get you so far. I'm not saying everybody on your team has to be a W-2 employee, but the whole point is to try to find people bartering, like find people who you can count on when you get a contract, when you get an opportunity, who's willing to step in and do the work as a 1099 contractor. So that's something that we do. If you tell me you have, and this happens, I mostly work with the government, so I just want to put that out there. For example, my first contract was with Serve DC. They asked me to help with their summer youth employment program. Well, guess what? My team is a team of 2 technically, but it took a team of 5 to pull it off, right? And so just finding the right people by asking my network, that's just a part of it. So I always say build your team. Your team isn't somebody that's with you every day, but there's somebody who knows how to do the work that you need when you need it done.
I have one final question for the panel, and then I'm going to open up the floor to some questions, okay? So my final question for you all, if you could give each of the guests one key piece of advice, look for the minority business owners who are looking to secure capital and bridge the wealth gap, what would it be? And it doesn't necessarily have to be specifically related to your industry. It could be something that you've experienced, but it could be relative to your industry. But just if there was one last piece of advice that you could offer, then what would it be?
Not necessarily to gain capital, but to build a business, to build that wealth is partner. That's my advice. Find someone who's just as passionate about what you're doing, and partner with them, split tasks, and build that business together. Whether it's, you know, bringing in someone later on or now, just find someone that can help you.
I would just go back to the importance of data, understanding the industry that you're in, understanding your target audience, and also allowing that data to allow you to make decisions. So if a particular industry you're in, on average has 30 people per that industry or that entity, and you only have 5, that doesn't mean you stop what you're doing. It's just information. You say, okay, this is on average how many people normally work for this type of business that I'm opening up. Doesn't mean stop what you're doing. It's just something for you to be aware of, and that's where data helps. This helps give you more information on what you can do.
I think what I will leave you guys with is something I touched on a little bit earlier, which is recognize where you are. You are in the District of Columbia. This place breeds Black excellence. You have a mayor who cares, and then not only do you have the District of Columbia, you can go right over to Maryland, and you can go right over to Virginia. And guess what else? You don't just have local government, you have federal government. You have resources like no one else in the United States of America has. Tap in, and tap in now, or you are doing a huge disservice to yourself and to your business. Thank you.
The first question was for Ms. Nicole. You spoke a lot about grants. Is there a particular site or any type of agency you would recommend that we actually use and that I can go to?
I don't know if you all know something, but I know Hello Alice, I know Mobile Millennial. You can look up grants on Instagram and they will pop up. We post them on our Instagram as well. And through our membership, we provide a monthly grant list as well. So those are the ones. Do you know any more?
Yeah.
I was going to say also Small Business Administration at that larger level would be one I would check to.
Yes, and so obviously DC.com, they'll have some grant opportunities. DSLBD's website, they have opportunities mostly within their agency. Also, Serve DC, I mentioned them earlier. If you go to their official website, a lot of the agencies house it in their, I think it's called a clearinghouse, so you can look there for grant opportunities as well.
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. And my next question, I did not catch your name, sir, from the Census Bureau. What's your name?
Omari Wooden.
Omari. Yes, I wanted to know, because you spoke a lot about data. What can you say as it relates to, or does the Census Bureau have information regarding Airbnbs in the District of Columbia as far as data is concerned?
I'm sure we do. So again, as industries start to shift and change, we do start to capture that information. I have to figure out exactly under which NAICS code that will fall under, North American Industry Standard Classification, but it will fall under a certain classification. I'm pretty sure we do off the top of my head, but I don't know exactly which code that would be.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we have another question.
So, my name is Harold Taylor, and I'm the business owner of Author Jon Business. I'm a business development consultant. And so my job is actually help small businesses build capacity, prepare them to be procurement ready, and also prepare them to be able to apply for small business loans. So I've been in business for about a year now, and I am struggling with finding clients, even though I post stuff on Instagram. I don't do Facebook. So one of the things that I said I wanted to do was this form partnerships with DC small business centers, the local DC chamber offices, and just start partnering, saying that I can partner with you to do a specific task. So I'd like to get you all can kind of help me. That'd be great.
I would first say, who's your target audience? Who's your customer? Do you know that? Like, who's ideal for what you're offering?
Focusing on small businesses and mid-sized businesses who want to focus on procuring opportunities. And small businesses want to focus on like loans,
Okay, are you in any associations or community networks?
No.
Okay, I would start there. Community networks, and then I would say if you aren't sure or you're not getting the clients that you want, start with customer discovery. It does.
Sorry, say it again.
Start with customer discovery. So find people who are small business owners, interview them. Spend 30, 40 minutes interviewing them, no open, well, make sure they're not yes or no questions, but get questions out to kind of get what their pain points are, what they're trying to solve, how you can help them, and go that route. But I would say join communities.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'll come over next. Here you are.
How you doing? I have a question for Mr. Stats. Go ahead. I do independent media, and doing the demographics, what is a link or the information you were talking about in terms of me finding out how many other businesses like mine are in the area? Is there a particular site I can go to get that information?
So the easiest place I would go is to something called Census Business Builder. The easiest way to do is just Google it. Just Google Census Business Builder, and what it'll do is it'll pull up a map, and it'll ask you to put in your geography, and then it'll ask you for your industry. So I would say photography, media, and then what you'll see is you'll see different options come up, and then that'll allow you to then pull up more information. One thing I will say, and this is also for you too, I don't have a card, but I will give you all my email. And I know people don't use email anymore, so
I do.
Oh, okay, good. Give me your LinkedIn. I'm sorry, I don't have that. Okay, so my email, Omari, O-M-A-R-I, .s, like Sam, .wooden, @census.gov. So my name was on the podium, on the agenda, Omari.s.wooden @census.gov. So what I can do is I can just go to that site, put in your industry, put in DC, and then you can find out how many other or similar businesses are here like that.
You have mentioned it throughout the panel discussion, but give you guys a final opportunity to lead our guests with how they can reach you, how they can contact you, or locate you on social media.
So Instagram, Facebook, I Barter Black, and LinkedIn and Nicole Murphy.
Again, repeat email, omari.s.wooden @census.gov. My direct number is 301-763-3829. A lot of the things we were talking about, we actually provide webinars, training, walk you right through the tool of how to use it. Hey, I want to find out about media in this particular area. Hey, let's walk through the tool. I'll show you how to pull that information.
Yeah, so the best way to reach me is definitely via email or text message. So my email is Trezell, which is my first name, Trezell @Ragas, RAGAS. And my name is somewhere, I'm sure you're going to see it send it out. So it's Trezell @RagasConsulting.com. And you can text the number 504-715-0519. When you text me, please let me know where we met. If you want to find me on LinkedIn, it's my name, Trezell Ragas. That works as well.
Can you repeat your phone number again?
Yeah. 504, just kidding, 504-715-0519.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Let's give it up for our panel one more time. Thank you, guys. Grandmother. She was a monumental contributor to National Minority Enterprise Development Week, or MED Week. The National Federation of Black Business Owners even honored her with a special recognition award. And here's just a bit of what they had to say about her. Linda Richardson has dedicated 32 years of her life to public service. Over the past 15 years with the U.S. Department of Commerce's Minority Business Development Agency. Her extensive interaction with all agencies of the public and private sector has positively impacted the nation's minority business community. They went further to say, in addition to promoting NVDA's programs and initiatives
through minority and mainstream print and electronic media outlets, Linda has been a key player on the National MedWeek's Public-Private Sector Committee, where she chaired the Marketing and Promotion Subcommittee for 5 consecutive years. The National MedWeek conferences have been proclaimed each year since 1983 by the U.S. President to recognize the outstanding contributions of minority entrepreneurs and their public and private sector advocates. Since 1997, she has written the MedWeek proclamations and spearheaded their signatures from the U.S. President. To be standing here today in this moment is truly special for me. It's not only a celebration of her incredible legacy, but it's also a celebration of the exceptional leaders in this room who embody the spirit of perseverance, leadership, and service that she championed throughout her life. Each nominee for this award has made significant strides in their field, overcoming challenges and demonstrating the power of minority business ownership. Today, I'd like to say congratulations to all of the nominees. You all represent the strength, resilience, and brilliance of community. There are many ways that you can describe Jonathan C. Harris. From a TEDx speaker to the inaugural Mr. Maryland U.S. United, a 100-pound weight loss transformation, Jonathan has been making waves nationally since the age of 10. Born and raised in Fort Washington, Maryland, Jonathan has received over 100 honors, including the Prince George's County, Maryland 40 Under 40 Award and the first winner of the DMV Renaissance Author of the Year Award. He is also a passionate philanthropist and organizer who provides free community events and raises money to provide food, clothes, school supplies, and toys through his nonprofit Million Paths Foundation, Inc. During his time working in higher education, he has also raised over $1 million for HBCU advancement through developing minority male initiatives, creating food partners, and mentoring several emerging leaders to enhance their student success. Through his vending machine business, B&H Vending, and publishing company, J.H. Harris Publishing, he is committed to helping people acquire wealth and success through entrepreneurship. Jonathan is always also a proud member of the 100 Black Men of Prince George's County. In his free time, he enjoys walking, reading, spending time with his family and friends, watching movies, and playing video games. Jonathan's philosophy is there's a million paths to the life you want, so he strives to help others make the best choice to turn their dreams into reality. Can we give a round of applause to Jonathan Harris and join me up here as a finalist, please? Congratulations. Absolutely. Thank you for joining me up here, and I'm going to invite up our next finalist, and that would be Miss Drumroll. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Erica as well, all right? Okay, so Erica is both a fashion designer and team lead. There's a lot more to be said about her, so I may add to this. But she is the owner of the brand EJE International. She's a Washington, D.C. native who dares to be different. Through her bespoke wearable art pieces, Erica creates edgy, avant-garde fashion that graces Grammy red carpets and runways from New York to Japan. A technically trained hair artist and educator for more than 2 decades, Erica expanded and poured her creativity into designing accessories and high-end streetwear fashions that have an inimitable aesthetic. Erica's work dares her audiences to think different about fashion as art. And I just want to add too that she has recently expanded her mission to care for hair loss patients. So she is philanthropic as well outside of gracing the different countries that she does. So if you guys would please help me welcome to the stage and give a round of applause to our other finalist, Erica as to you both. Absolutely. All right, and so now it's time for the winner. So we are presenting the 2024 Linda Richardson Minority Business of the Year Award. And this, as I mentioned to you guys, is extremely special to us. This is the inaugural award. This is something that we will continue to do each year. Hopefully next year we will be out of this place because we've exceeded the capacity, right? Right? I'm just expanding the vision, that's all. We love it here, don't we? Yes. But without further ado, now I'm going to do a drum roll because we don't have a next slide for this. So I did have a panel to assist me in this decision, so it was not solely made. And the winner of the inaugural 2024 Linda Richardson Minority Business of the Year Award goes to, drum roll, Jonathan Harris. Congratulations for your honorary mention. Absolutely. Speak to the audience.
Gosh, I actually need to take a moment and catch my breath. I say that to say the last year has been probably one of the most, a mixture of turbulent and blessing. So I want to give y'all a quick story. As Darvincia shared, my background has been education. I started working in higher education at the age of 22. And for a while, I thought I was going to retire from there. And one day, I got a call that honestly changed my life. I got a call July 14, 2022, that my contract was coming to an end. And it wasn't anything that I had expected, right? I was told by my employer that if I was going to come back, I would have to re-interview, but there were no guarantees. And this is 10 years into my career. So I had to take a moment, collect myself, and I had to figure out what was going to be the next part of my life. So I pray every day, and I just asked God to just help me figure this out. In the midst of that, I had already published a couple books. I had already started my vending machine business, so I knew that in the next chapter of my life, the Lord would give me more of a platform to pour into those businesses that I had started while I was working. And just, you know, in the midst of trying to figure out when I got that phone call and my whole life was going to change. This job came with an apartment and everything, so I wasn't just losing a job, I was losing my home. And I said one day, I'm not going to necessarily know when that moment is, but I know that everything is going to be okay. Tonight is that moment. I want to say thank you so much to not only you, Darvincia, but everybody who has played a role in this event. Since we first connected last year, Darvincia was so sweet. For a year ago, she did a virtual series highlighting my cousin and I for our vending machine business. But every time we connect, always showing love, always pouring into others. And even though I'm so sad, this is our first time meeting in person. It won't be the last, but I say all that to say I can just tell by your spirit and demeanor that you are such a person who really values elevating others. And I just thank God for people like you. I know sometimes in this world, especially as minority business owners, it feels easy to just want to hoard resources and hoard contacts, but we have to work together. That's what is going to help us all get to the next level. Everybody in this room has a special talent, has a connection, has a thought process that is going to help us move the needle in our society. I am a firm believer, I live by this quote. It says that your life, your story is someone else's roadmap. So because you decided to start a business, because you have an initiative, one day your idea is going to be the reason someone is able to feed their family, send their kid to college, have their first job, or some life-changing experience. So I dedicate this to all of you. I want to, before I sit down, I want to give a special thank you to my parents who have been such a foundation and support system throughout my life. It's a blessing to have a mom and a dad that I can still pick up the phone at 34 years old and call and say, I have a question. And to know on the other side of that phone call is real love, real support, and something that's going to move me forward. I don't take that for granted because everyone does not have that. So I'm just thankful to my entire village. I want to thank every supporter I've ever had, and not necessarily the supporters I have now, but more so I really just want to say thank you to those who loved me when I didn't even have my first book out. I think those are the people at the beginning of your journey who really believe in you. It's easy to want to do business with someone who has the big brand and has all of that behind their name, but when you're just a random email being sent to a corp, those people are the ones who saw something. So I just want to say thank you to every person who gave me space to speak, be on their podcast, be a part of their magazine, be a part of whatever has helped me get to this point today. Thank you all so much.
So, we do have one more award to give away. Can you guys hear me? Yes. We have one more award to give away, right? And this one is an honorary mention. Now, as one of the things that has been universal in our panel discussion today that I've heard each of our panelists speak about is community, right? Every question was answered in some way brought back to community. And each of the nominees tonight were, the relationship that I have with them was established just by community. Both of these individuals I met professionally. I did not know them before, and just like Jonathan said, we've been corresponding for a year now, and this is our first time meeting. But we've collaborated, we've supported, he's connected me, so I said all of that to say, community is extremely important, and if you got nothing else for tonight, I definitely hope you took that. This next award is also someone that is a part of my community. We also met through a business arrangement, and ever since then, we have done nothing short of support one another. This person also got like 70 nominations, so I think probably just broke my system, right? Very, very, very heartfelt nominations, and she has a strong community. And so if you guys can help me in recognizing and bring up to the stage Ms. Monique Bland. She is the founder of First Look Consulting and Staffing, and she is our honorary mention tonight.
All right, so thank you. I really appreciate it. As she mentioned, my name is Monique Bland. I am the CEO and founder of First Look Consulting and Staffing. We specialize in events and hospitality staffing. We work very closely with BPR, DEOS, and a few other government agencies. I'm really good.
They obviously are a direct product. They're the reason why I'm here. Ronald Linda, she started it. Then there was the Vincent Moore, and then there was the Darvincia. That's the part of the business. He's the Vince and the Darvincia. And my stepmother, Rosie. All right.
Did you guys want to say?
Okay, I understand. We're gonna get a picture. Come here.
Thank you, got you. Awesome.
Well, guys, with that, I just want to thank you all for joining us in this inaugural Capital Connections Empowering Minority event. I hope that each and every one of you has been empowered in some way. I'm going to leave the remaining 30 minutes to have some food. Come over here and join Epic Party Pros and get your 360 photo on and make some connections. I hope everyone dropped their business card in the front. If you haven't, please do. And definitely connect with one another. All right? Thank you guys so much for coming out tonight.